Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Toby Wayne. This is Toby Wayne Studios, and today I am going to show you how I'm going to mold up this little sculpture here. I call this guy Rotten Ron, I think. This is the original sculpture here that I was going to sell, but I had gotten a lot of people asking about it, so I figured, why not? I'm going to just make a mold of it. Basically, I just poured up a small resin base, and then I glued him on. And I'm going to, once I'm ready, then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put my cup over him like this, and that'll give the mold for it. But before I do that, I've got my Mold Star 16, which I'm going to be stirring up and getting all mixed up and all that good stuff and measured out. And then I'm going to do a small beauty coat on him because I want to make sure that I catch all these bubbles, or all these little beauty coats on here, because he's got a couple little undercuts or fine detailed areas that I want to make sure I get silicone in. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a beauty coat on this bad mamma jamma, and then yeah, then we're just going to make a mold of him. But I figured I'd show you guys real quick the Mold Star 16. And by the way, I have my buddy Peter here with me. Peter's filming, so say hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Oh, God, you people. So anyway, yeah, Peter's filming this for me, so if the video turns out like garbage, we shall all blame Peter. But anyway, no pressure, Peter. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just making sure that my Mold Star 16 is incorporated. So there is, I want to say that's side A, or no, side B. This is side A, which is the second half, of course. And I'm just going to make sure that I get a good incorporation of this stuff. Mold Star 16 is a very, very fast setting silicone. I believe that once side A and side B are mixed together, I have 6-minute pot life. So once that stuff fires and you know, side A and side B is mixed, I have 6 minutes before that thing fires off. And then once it's completely poured, and we get that second half of the mold poured on there, it's a demold of 30 minutes, which is fantastic. So I'm hoping to get this little guy molded up today, and then here within the next hour, I'll be pouring up resin casting. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this portion of the video up, and I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay, so we're back, and here you see I have equal portions of side A and side B. And being precise is important. I eyeballed it, but I made sure that they were equal and level. So, like I said, once these two sides mix, I have about 6 minutes. So I have to move pretty darn quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just jump into it. I'm going to mix these two, and then I'm going to transfer it into this one, and then I'm going to very quickly apply it to my sculpture. So let's go ahead and scoop out the side that I need here into this side. And I've mixed up quite a bit here, but it's better to have, you know, plenty of the silicone to work with rather than not have enough. And the beauty coat's not going to take much. All right. So there's my sides, and now I'm just going to very quickly mix this together. And I'm going to start to mix it into this cup here to make sure, and I'm mixing it into the second cup to make sure that it incorporates completely. I want to make sure that all the sides are scraped, and that I have all the side A and side B mixed together. If you don't mix them together, you're going to have uncured spots, you're going to have sticky spots. It might eventually cure, but it's better to just go ahead and get it all mixed together the first time. New stick, and I'm mixing. And that's good enough there. Now I'm taking my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just start to apply the silicone into all the little areas, and I'm just going to start very quickly dabbing the beauty coat in, and I'm trying to make sure that I get plenty of good coverage into all the little details, all the little areas, all the little undercuts. I want to make sure that I get all of these areas covered, because if I don't, that's going to incorporate negative bubbles. There's going to be miscast areas. So it's better to just go ahead and get a nice, decent coat on this thing in a very quick, timely manner. And I'm being careful because I blocked out an undercut down there with a regular Super Sculpey. It's unbaked, so I want to make sure that that's soft and, or protected, so I'm not just gonna leave marks on it by jabbing it with the brush. Okay, now I'm going around my base, and I'm just putting a nice coat on that. Technically, I don't really have to, but I think it's a good idea, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just apply it since I got the material here. Okay, so that should be everything. That I see, it looks like I got all my areas covered, except for that little spot right there. And I gotta rotate this upside down so I can make sure that I got everything covered here. The beauty coat is the most important coat. Okay, so that is that, and I'm going to just apply just a touch more around his mouth there, just so that when it goes to fill up, there's no chances of any bubbles catching right there in that mouth, because it is undercut. So I'm just going to kind of gently start to build up these little areas here to kind of block it out a little bit. Make an easy transition for that new silicone that's coming in to not get trapped up inside of there. All right. Okay, so I think that's it for this beauty coat. And now the next little item of business is to clean my brush and get this next batch mixed up and pour it in. So anyway, we will be right back. Okay, so I'm going to now take this cup and hot glue it down. I've marked on the back where it's going to show me that this is the back of the sculpture, so when I go to cut it back up the back, I'll know which is the back and which is the front. So basically I'm just going to stick this and line those up. And I've got my hot glue, or my hot glue here. And I'm just going to gently start to tack this on. I don't want to put it on too heavy because it'll distort this plastic cup. So the hot glue is important because that is going to keep that silicone in. If you have any little holes or areas, it could potentially seep out the bottom, and then you'll lose silicone out of your sculpture, or out of your mold, excuse me. So just run a little bead of hot glue on there. Please be very careful when using hot glue. This stuff is not fun to get onto your hands or any other body parts, so it will burn. So anyway, there I'm just kind of holding it in place here a little bit to make sure that the hot glue will have a chance to cool down and make a good seal. And it looks pretty good. I might go back over it just one more little time here to make sure that I got it sealed. I see one or two little spots that I think I could use to build up. Okay. So there it is. I got a nice seal job on it. There you see the sculpture on the inside is nice and secured. It's glued down. Everything is looking peachy keen. And now I'm just going to have to mix up my second portion of my silicone, and we will be good to pour that in. Okay, so now I've got my 2 parts equal amounts of side A and side B, and I guesstimated on this, folks, to be honest. It's an eyeball job as far as measuring this out, and also hopefully I have enough that's going to fill this up. It kind of sucks to have not enough silicone, but it also sucks to have too much because then it's wasted material. But it's better to just have a little extra that's wasted than to not have enough and then have to go and measure up and mix up all those side A and side B again. So we are ready to go. I'm going to start to pour the sides together and mix. Remember, we have a 6-minute pot life, so there's no time to mess around once we start getting this incorporated. So here comes the 2 sides together. And I want to make sure that I get all the material out of the cup, as much as I can anyway. And also I should have mentioned, I should mention that cups or gloves would have been nice to have. I probably should have put some gloves on, but being hardcore and a daredevil, if you will, I do not do that on this episode. So we're going to just go with it. So now I'm going to just start incorporating, getting all the sides mixed. And this is the tricky part. This is the scary part. This is everything, because like I said in the first pouring up of the beauty coat, if you don't get your sides mixed properly, you're going to run into some problems. And that's the last thing we want, is running into problems. So I'm just going to, and I probably could have used a bigger stir stick. So, yeah. Now, some of you may be wondering, why am I incorporating bubbles, or is this going to incorporate bubbles as it mixes? Yes, it will incorporate bubbles, but this stuff is so thin in its mixing procedure when you mix the 2 sides together that it pours very nicely. So it's pretty easy to work with, and those bubbles will just rise to the top, and we will be good to go. So to see all the white down at the bottom, so now I'm going to mix it back over into a separate cup. And using that bombs away method, see there, you see the white being incorporated. I don't know, Peter, if you can get a good shot of that or not, but the white is coming out of the bottom of the cup now, which is good because that's what we want. We want to get those sides completely mixed. And I'm going to go ahead and just get myself a brand new stick, just to be sure that I'm not cross-contaminating anything. And I'm going to just jump right in and start stirring the sides, stirring the bottom, stirring all the part A and part B. Okay. And it looks good. I see all the sides are mixed. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start pouring. And I can already tell, I bet you I got a ton of extra left over, but that's okay. So now that we've got our beauty coat, I guess it doesn't really matter if we pour it directly onto the sculpt, which I don't like to do. I like to get off to the side and then just let everything kind of just sheen up the sides. It's just important that you get a nice even stream, and notice that really fine stream. There's really no chances of any bubbles being in there, because that's kind of the poor man's bombs away method, is just that fine stream and those bubbles break as it pours in, so that's a good thing. And to be honest, all I can see is the top of his head. I can't even see what's going on the sides, so I'm just flying by the seat of me pants here. We're going to see how this goes. I'm just basically trusting that gravity and the silicone will do its job, and it will just gently rise to the surface, and all the bubbles will rise up, and nothing will get caught, and it'll be a good success. And we're just starting to break the top of the head here. And I can tell we're definitely going to have leftover silicone, which is okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and take it right to the top because I have excess silicone. And it is what it is. And I do believe, my friends, that is all she wrote. Now, check out all the excess silicone. That's a bummer, and if I had something that I could pour, which I should have used a little bit of common sense, and I could have thought ahead, but I just don't have anything set up, which really sucks. That's a bummer. And I don't even have a cup or anything. I guess I could, I don't know, Peter, do you see anything around here that we could stick in there and try to make a mold of? I don't really see anything, but
sadly I don't.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're plumb out of luck, my friends.
You can do that leg there.
Yeah, here's what we'll do. And this is going to be totally lame. Here's a leg. This is not going to work, I'm sure, but we're going to just go ahead and, since we have this, we're going to just go ahead and pour that leg. Oh boy. And this, my friends, is not how not to pour silicone, but for the sake of saying that I didn't totally waste it, I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in, and we will see what happens. But yeah, the old saying, waste not, want not, comes to my mind when I am pouring this right now. So it is what it is, I suppose. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to end this video at this moment, and then we will come back in about 30 minutes when this thing is ready to demold. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and here you can see this is the silicone mold. There's the resin base. This is the back. We marked to kind of show where the back is going to go. I don't think I've ever cut open a mold before on camera, so let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that this is not a massive failure. But anyway, I got myself my nice X-Acto blade here, a nice sharp blade. And I'm just going to go ahead and start. There's the hot glue on the bottom, so just disregard that. I'll clean that up once I get this open. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to lay this down for stability so it gives me something to work on, and I'm going to just go ahead and start cutting into this. I've marked the bottom as well, so that kind of shows me where it is on the bottom. And I'm just going to gently start to break the seal. You can see the seal starting to break on the bottom there. So very fine cut. I'm just going to start working my way up the back of the mold. And some people put bigger zigzags than this. I don't like the zigzag because then that's a line that I have to try to clean in a zigzag pattern. So I avoid doing a zigzag pattern in the cutting of the silicone. So we're gonna, and I've got to very carefully pull this apart without going making too many marks in the back. And Peter, are you getting a good shot of this here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just start slicing, cutting my way up the back. Okay, so there's the sculpture. That's the bottom of it there. And I'm going to try to keep this centered on the sculpt, but I have no idea where this actually sits. So I'm going to kind of just start to very carefully slice my way up the back, and hopefully I'll get right up his back. Okay, so I actually came up between the Toby and the Wayne on the signature there. Okay, and this silicone gets pretty darn thick. So I'm just gonna slowly start to work my way. There's the back of his head. Keep cutting. And this is the careful part here, because I don't want to go all the way up too far up to the top. So I'm going to see if I can gently start to work him out. I think we're going to be okay here. So now I've got him pried apart, and I'm just going to gently wiggle. And I felt him popping free. And there he popped out. So there's the mold. And this just seals up. Nice clean seam line on the inside there. Once that gets rubber banded, you won't even see that seam line. It'll be very, very, very clean. It's not going to be a big issue. So that looks good. Alright, so anyway, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. I'm going to be pouring up another, I'm going to be making another video of me pouring this up. But I just appreciate you guys checking this video out. Thank you for all the new subscribers. I truly appreciate you guys. And I'll just catch you guys in the very next video.